What would you do if one ordinary day you found out your wife wasn't who she said she was, but an undercover FBI agent? Stay until the end, because every choice changes everything. Level 1. The house is quiet. Too quiet. You notice the little things first. A coffee mug in the sink that never belonged to you. A calendar note crossed out that you don't remember making. Her jacket has an extra pocket sewn inside. You don't ask about it. You just file it away. Night falls. She kisses your forehead like she always does. She leaves for work early. You believe the story she gives you because she gave it to you with steady eyes, because she has always been steady. But a knot begins to form in your stomach. A small, persistent worry. It grows. Not yet suspicion. Just a quiet, insistent question. You tell yourself you're being paranoid. You tell yourself marriage has secrets. You tell yourself nothing will change. Still, you wait. You watch. Level 2. You find the first breadcrumb. Her phone buzzes on the table. You don't touch it, but you see the notification preview when she leaves the room. Secure transfer cleared. Extraction in 48 hours. The words don't belong to the life you think you share. Your chest tightens. You tell yourself it could be a work group chat. You tell yourself not to jump. But curiosity is a small, sharp thing. It bites. Later that week, she stays late at the office. She says training. You believe her. Until you see her leave in an unmarked van. Not the work van. An anonymous vehicle with tinted windows. Your hands go cold on the steering wheel. You follow. You tell yourself you're not following. You tell yourself you're just driving the same route. But your heart knows. Level 3. You tail the van to a parking garage downtown. Your palms sweat on the wheel. The fluorescent lights buzz. She steps out, head down. She moves with a purpose you don't recognize. Her face is focused. There is no smile. She meets a man you don't know. They exchange a sealed envelope. You watch through the rearview mirror. You feel like a ghost in your own life. You see her get into the van again. They leave together. Your brain catalogs every frame. You are cataloging betrayal. You want to run toward her. You want to slam on the hood of that van. But you don't. You record instead. You take a photo. You breathe. You are a quiet man in a loud world. That night, you put the photo on the kitchen counter. When she gets home, she looks at it like it's a crossword she can't solve. She says nothing. You ask nothing. You wait for the confession to spill. It never does. Level 4. The next week, you find the badge. Not in a drawer where you'd expect it. Not on a ring by the bed. Tucked under a loose floorboard in the study. An FBI badge. Cold metal in your fingers. You have had 100 different beginnings for this moment in your head. None of them look like this. You feel like someone who has discovered a secret room in their own house. Walls rearranged without your permission. You imagine the interrogations, the reasons, misguided heroics, protection, duty. You put the badge back. You don't knock on her door. You don't tell her what you know. You sleep in the couch like a man pretending to be brave. Sleep doesn't come. All you can hear is the hum of the refrigerator and the weight of your choices. Level 5. Confrontation is a blunt instrument. You are not blunt. You are refined by doubt. So you choose the slow burn. You ask small questions that feel like paper cuts. How was your training? You say. Who was that man you met downtown? You ask casually at dinner. She answers with smoothness. Answers that avoid edges. Parts of the truth fold into the half-truths. You watch her carefully. She starts to make mistakes. A code phrase said out of place. A photo left open to a government site on her laptop. A name that slips when she thinks she's alone. You see the outlines of the life she has been living parallel to yours. It is precise. It is dangerous. You imagine wiretaps, dead drops, undercover ops. And then, in the middle of the night, she comes to the couch. She sits beside you. You can hear the tremor in her voice. "I had to tell you eventually," she says. It's a phrase that asks you to be both judge and jury. You force yourself to listen. She tells you she is an agent, undercover, assigned to monitor a ring that could hurt people you both know. She says the word protect like a prayer. You want to be noble. You want to believe her. But your pride tastes like betrayal. Level 6. She explains the rules. She was sworn to secrecy. There were protocols. No contact, no personal involvement. She was off the books for months, sometimes years. Your life, she says, was collateral. Your trust, she says, was a liability. You let the words land. They have edges. You imagine the nights she went home and watched you sleep. You imagine the conversations you had that were really tests. You imagine the times you laughed at jokes that were carefully measured. You try to imagine the truth beneath her lies. She tells you why she couldn't tell you. Compromised assets. Undercover identities. The danger of naming names. If she had told you, the whole operation could have collapsed. People could have died. You see the shadow of what she says. It's monstrous and noble at once. You think about the people she saved, and you think about how she used you as a shield. You feel small and huge at the same time. Level 7. You want to run. You want to leave and never look back. You also want to understand. You want to know the line between duty and deceit. She stands before you like a woman stripped of pretense. "I never meant to hurt you," she says. You search her face for the truth. You find it in the way her hands tremble. You ask the question that matters. "Were you ever in love with me?" She looks at you as if the question is a map. "Yes," she says. And that's why it hurt the most. She reaches for your hand. There is contact that has no assignment. It is human. It is real. But the thing between you now is not the same as before. It's a fracture that glows. You can fix it or let it be. You don't know which repair holds. You stare at the badge on the table. It glints like a small sun. A reminder that secrets have a gravity. You imagine walking away with it. You imagine keeping it and trying to rebuild. You weigh the responsibilities she carried against the secret she kept. The choices are not clean. They are messy as life. Finale days become negotiations. You talk in guarded sentences. You set rules. She tells you what she can say and what she cannot. You decide to stay for now. Trust isn't returned overnight. It is earned in tiny acts. She starts to bring you into the shadows slowly. Not the sensitive operations, but the crumbs. A debrief that doesn't compromise her work. A call to say she's safe. A text that is meant only for you. You begin to believe in small things again. But you keep the badge in a drawer you open every day. You look at it the way sailors look at storms. Respect and fear. One evening, months later, she walks through the door. She's exhausted. She collapses in your arms. You hold her. You feel her body shaking as if from cold. You are not absolved. You are not betrayed beyond repair. You are two people who have to decide if love can survive the gravity of a shared deception. You lean into her and whisper, "The only thing you know will be honest." "I can't promise I won't be afraid." She answers with a barely audible, "I know." Outside, the city hums. Inside, you measure each breath. You have discovered that the truth is both a blade and a balm. It cuts. It heals. You have found a second life in the same house. It is dangerous. It is fragile. It is real. And every morning, you wake up and choose. You choose to stay and to reckon. You choose to ask questions and to listen to the hard answers. You choose to forgive sometimes and to withhold at other times. You choose to keep loving someone who kept you safe by keeping you in the dark. The day you realized your wife was secretly working for the FBI did not end in a single moment. It unfolded like a wound, slow, terrible, inevitable. And in the time after, you learned the grammar of a new life, where secrecy meets devotion, where duty collides with intimacy, where truth is something you rebuild, piece by delicate piece. If this story made you think, imagine what comes next. Subscribe to Beyond the Story for more cinematic POV stories that put you in impossible situations. And tell me in the comments, what would you have done?